All right, Shalom. I want to say call Halal Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Bakakudash Barakatha Yahweh Barakatha Yahweh Shai Barakatha Yahweh Barakatha Yahweh Shai Barakatha Yahweh Barakatha Yahweh Shai. Double honor to the apostles and elders at GMS to rule well. Peace and blessings to the occupants out there fighting, doing this work with truth and sincerity. Back here again with another lesson. Lord willing, this is edifying to the elect men out there that are listening and watching these videos. Just a quick lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. As you know it, the time of Jacob's trouble is ramping up. You know, the walk, this journey that we embarked on, it's going to come with some difficult and hard times. But nonetheless, it is the Lord, it's Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai that's causing this to take place, because this rulership only has a certain period of ruling, and that the Lord is going to bring utter destruction to this place to send his only begotten Son and the holy angels back to destroy this place, man. The wicked, the bloodshed of the Israelites upon this planet and around the world. So 2/3 of the Lord's people of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are not taking this thing seriously. They don't know how detrimental it is for you to get a report and to believe on that report, because the God of this world has blinded the minds of the people. So therefore, they're walking around thinking that everything is cool. Okay, yeah, the food stamp thing might happen. It might go back to normal of some sort. But our people are not fixated on the spiritual aspect of why things are happening. And it's written here in the book of Romans 15:4 says, for whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning. We have to think back the time during Egypt when the Lord used Moses and Aaron to talk to the Israelites that was in Egypt and brought them out to the wilderness, that he was going to bring locusts, hail, turn the blood into water. So those are examples of things that actually happened in history, and the Lord is causing things here to happen to get rid of Section 8 and your dependency upon this place, which is spiritually known as Sodom and Egypt. So the Lord will do things here that's going to force his people to trust and depend upon him. So we have to look back on the things of old, of our ancestry, because the Bible belonged to the Israelites, and look at what our righteous forefathers did, man. And how much faith they had, and what mindset they have taken on themselves in order to escape, to believe and trust in Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. So these things was written for our time, aforetime, for our learning today, because we are those same people. Why is there a pyramid on the back of the dollar bill? You see, because this place is spiritually Egypt. We're still in captivity, and the Lord's going to do a miraculous deliverance for the elect of his people, because again, 2/3 are not going to adhere to the report and take heed to it. So they're going to get the same fate that this place is coming to grips with. That's why people are starting to bug out. People starting to take to social media, even so-called white people, their jobs, and everybody complaining because hyperinflation is going to get even worse. And on top of that, the wages are not going up. So the food. So now you're complaining and you thinking everything will be a darling old good time, but you're not understanding what lies before you. So for the Lord's people, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, it's time to wake up out of sleep and turn back to your stronghold, which is Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Those that run into a strong tower is safe. Roughly paraphrasing in the book of Proverbs. Romans 15:4, for whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning. You see, that we through patience, meaning sufferings, right, and comfort. So we're going to go through some discomfort in order for us to get back to rulership, righteousness, our Lord Yahweh Shai coming back to rule, to bring the government on his shoulder, to set up everything, to get us out of this nightmare. We're going to have to go through a lot of turbulence and troubling times. Well, we have to go back into the scriptures, man, and set our mind aright upon the Lord, man. And we ought to want to do that because we don't have any life here. There's no structure here for us. Like, you're not tired of being broke, tired of working, tired of being on the bottom, tired of getting looked at like you nothing, tired of having diseases, tired of doing drugs, tired of going out selling drugs, tired of smoking drugs, tired of doing the same bullshit and nothing in return, but you get a Hellcat and you good. You can travel around the world and you good. I went to China, I'm good. I moved to another country, I don't have to live as hard when there's a kingdom prepared for us. Everlasting kingdom, man. So we bring a comfort to you of the scriptures, but we know that sufferings is coming too. So the Lord is like, he's causing this to take place to make his people rely upon him. So we need to be happy about it. And, you're not going to be all joyous. Well, I understand you're going to have your moment because we're in his flesh, but you're going to have a different mindset knowing that spiritually this place is going down because he's bringing it down for the elect's sake. So therefore we can go back into the kingdom of heaven here on the planet Earth, man. We don't have to go to these jobs anymore, save some goddamn money, use a credit card. We're not going to have that in the kingdom, man. So there's an elect that have a kingdom mindset and walking the walk towards that kingdom. Comfort of the scriptures might have hope that we are the elect, hopefully elect to be delivered, because 2/3 are not going to adhere to this message, and they go get again caught up with the same fate of this place, man. So in Ecclesiasticus, I'm gonna get to the point. Ecclesiasticus 2:3, cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Because when you come into the truth initially, you have some sort of pride about you or whatever, you on some kind of little status. Well, you go, as you walk this walk, you're going to become lower and lower and lower. And it's like honey into thy mouth, but then when it hits your belly, it's bitter, right? And now you dealing with it like, fuck, okay. So we at the bottom, and it's fine. The Lord said, once we endure and cleave unto him, he shall increase us at the last end. We're at the end of this kingdom. So those that's on the bottom of the elect, the Lord's people, right, who's putting forth their best foot forward, the Lord going to lift them up in due time, because we're at the end of this kingdom. He's not going to ultimately destroy all of his people, because he left a remnant, right, to go out and preach and to wake up his people as commanded. So you can see that example before you, and you look at that and you run to it, man. You run to that house, the house of King David is being erected again. Then you have hope. You have other believers and other believers with the same mindset. That's why the brotherhood is very important, man. The brotherhood is very important, and we ought to lock in as well. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, right? You're not gonna be in a joyous moment when you're in a dire situation. We have to sit still. I need to sit still, right? And trust in Yahweh Bahashim Abshah. Don't make no hasty decisions. Don't make no decisions off of emotions. And that's what we ultimately doing here in this walk, is to shed the dross of our old selves, man. To get rid of the dross. You see? To become new creatures. Okay? I'm driving, so whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully and be patient. We got to be patient. We got to suffer it. When thou art changed to a lower state, okay, for gold is tried in the fire and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. The sun has hit my eyes. Okay, so there's going to be a particular spirits of the elect going to be tried as gold, and they're going to pass the test, man. And that's what we need to be focusing on in this ministry, in our everyday walk, as we embarked upon this truth, as the Lord set us on his path. I'm going to jump down. Verse 11, what I want to get into. The son is, look at the generations of old. Now remember Romans 15, it says, what? For whatsoever was written aforetime was written for our learning, right? So we have to look back into the scriptures, meaning we have to, in the Hebrew, darash, meaning to investigate, to see if these things to be so. That will help lift up your spirit, and that will help lift up your faith. Once you go back and see these things. So these were stories that has taken place, but see, people think these stories of the Bible is fictional, or not. People think it's just stories. No, this actually happened. And there's a whole lot of evidence that proves that. You see? So look at the generations of old and see did ever trust in the Lord and was confounded. And that's why we have to take that same mindset. And man, you also want to do that, man. You should be mad at this goddamn place. Tired of going through this shit. She was like, you know what, man? Fuck this, man. I'm trusting the Lord, man. The Lord said trust on him. So when you go to the book of Isaiah in the 46th chapter or 43, it says to plead thy cause. So we're supposed to bring this to the Lord. Lord, I done put down everything. I'm trying my best to follow you. And you said to call upon you. That's what we have to do, remind the Lord of his words. And that make precedence of us to learn this word. So it could be in you. So when you pray, you know what to pray for. You ain't praying for this place to go into further. You praying for this place to go down. You in the right spirit when you think that way. You're not hoping this place, well, you know what? I just want to get my little life together real quick. No, man, we trying to get the hell up out of here, man. Like yesteryear. You know? So your prayer and your mindset is different once you understand things in the spirit. Look at the generations of old and see, did any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him, man, in righteousness and in the truth with a contrite spirit? He's not going to ultimately destroy all of his people. He left a remnant, the hopefully elect, that was going to, the 7,000 is shutting out Bada to Baal. You see what I'm saying? They waiting to see this. They waiting to see the Lord come back to chant Babylon down, you know, to get up out of this hellhole, this nightmare that we live in, so our children can play in a righteous kingdom, man. Where the divorce rate amongst the Israelite won't be as high as it is today in this society. Where the slut rate and men on men and women on women, that ain't gonna exist in our kingdom when Yahweh Shai is ruling, when King David is back. You ought to want these things for yourselves, man. You know? The lies that the so-called white man has been put out to suppress us and say that we dumb people, but here it is. We still created a lot, the stoplight, the cell phone, everything, man. Eye surgery. You go back and do history, man, we invented a lot of things, but he got the patent and got paid off of the labors of the Israelites. We are royal and smart and a righteous people, man. By giving us the laws, statutes, and commandments, made us separate from these heathen nations. You got to snap up out of these so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. The Lord is coming back. He's on his way. And how we know the things in the earth, because he's giving us tokens, meaning signs to see. That's how we know he's on his way back with the holy angels, man. So we got to call upon the Lord, man. For the Lord is full of compassion and mercy, long-suffering, and very pitiful, and forgiveth sins, and saveth in time of affliction. That's what we're approaching. We need the compassion of the Lord to remember us in his anger when you pray. Lord, please, Baba Kashal, remember us. Remember mercy in your fierce anger. You see? Forgive us sins. That's in the book of Isaiah 55:7. He read, pardon thee. You see? You can Google it and it'll give you the right script. Actually, let's see. Put down your wicked ways. I think it's 55. Damn, I said 55. No. Let's see. Is it Isaiah? Damn, it's... No. Damn. That's a lot, you know. Let's see. Is it 50? Let's try this. Let's try Isaiah 56. So I'm just trying to get to that point. The blind and greedy dog, this is also good, you know. Let's see. Let's try 55 here in the book of Isaiah. Isaiah 55:7. Let the wicked forsake his way, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Get out your own way. You weren't designed to come up with your own way of salvation. Quit it. Stop it. Let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts. And let him return unto the Lord, and he will have mercy upon him, and to our power, for he will abundantly pardon. Like I read over in the book of Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, chapter 2, verse 10 down to 11. He will forgive and pardon. If you forsake your way and seek him, get out your own thoughts. Like Yatazak say here in Dallas, get out your own way, man. You and your own goddamn, get out your way. And return unto Yahweh Bahashim Habashai, man. He'll have mercy upon you. You're going to go through this walk. You're going to get bruised. You got the whole, you're not going to have a clean armor. You're going to have dents and dings in this armor now. But nonetheless, we keep trusting in him. He going to get us through, man. Lord willing, we'll hopefully let. And he will abundantly pardon. Pardon what? Our sins, man. So we made perfect in the eyes of Yahweh Bahashim Habashai as we walk this walk. To the world, we know him, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. You can't save us. You can't save me, man. That's why the Bible says, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Nonetheless, the devil's coming down having great wrath, seeking whom he may destroy. And that's why we here telling you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans to get in this and learn the things that was written for our learning. You see, and turn back into the Heavenly Father. Because times are getting hard, and it's going to get even harder. People are going to start losing their mind, but they're not going to have any mental stability because they're not going to have the understanding and the knowledge as to why this is happening. But here in the book of Isaiah 33:6 says, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of that time. So you'll know what's going on. You'll know how to maneuver, and you will be way better off than these people out here in the world who don't know why this is happening and what's about to take place. So Lord willing, I hope this was edifying. Until the next time, I shall say, Shalom.